The remake of White Men Can't Jump is now on Hulu, so let's see if this film is worth your time. Hey everybody, my name's Justin here. I try to watch everything that hits theaters and on streaming services like Hulu. If you guys are like me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and click that bell notification for more up and coming content. Two ballers, opposites who are seemingly miles apart, find that they might have more in common than they imagined possible. So I just watched the original White Men Can't Jump starring Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson for the first time the other day, and I really liked that film. When I watched that movie, I immediately knew that the remake could not capture that magic. I really liked that film. But surprisingly, this movie isn't that bad. In this film, we have Sinqua Walls, who plays Kamal Allen. He was a basketball prodigy and he ruined his career, and he meets Jeremy, played by Jack Harlow, and they realize that they have a lot in common when it comes to basketball, and them two start to hustle other basketball players, and they enter this big basketball tournament because they need the money, very similar to that original film. Now the chemistry between Sinqua Walls and Jack Harlow is not as perfect as Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes, but they have this really good development for these characters. You have a lot of depth given to them, some of their backstory, what they're dealing with, and how they are overcoming all of that and connecting through basketball as well. We learn about Kamal Allen and his past and what Jeremy is going through with his ACL and him trying to get money, but they're very good at basketball. And we see this relationship that does form, and it's genuine and heartwarming. I like seeing them two together. Jack Harlow's really good in here for him being a rapper, now being an actor. I thought he handled the role really well. He likes things to be really clean. He likes to be healthy. He likes to crack jokes, very similar to Woody Harrelson. And he brings this charisma to the role and the energy that keeps this movie flowing. And I like Jack Harlow as a rapper. I enjoy some of his music. But here I was very curious to see how he would handle this role, and he does a pretty good job with it. And Sinqua Walls has more of the more dramatic storylines in here. He's not like Wesley Snipes in the film. He's someone that has a troubled past, and he is trying to overcome all of that. He's a little more serious than Wesley Snipes was. I think he handles those moments where he has a hard time letting people into his life, and he wants to kind of overcome some of his fears that he has. I thought some of the ways that they wrote these characters was pretty decent, and switching things up from that original film. Now, the basketball tournament, them hustling other players, the basketball scenes are filmed really well, and we get a sense that they are pretty good at it, and there's that energy from all of the basketball scenes, which I did enjoy. I'm not as connected to that original film as other people are. If you saw it in the 90s or grew up watching it, you probably have more feelings about this remake than I do. Since I just watched it the first day, I'm not as affected by this being a remake as other people are that I've seen on Twitter. But I would say that it's nowhere near as good as the original film in terms of the acting and the characters and the story as well. It does take a step back. Like I said, we do have this development for these characters, but you don't get to know them all that well. Like I said, there is this development for these characters, but even some of the development just seems very average at best. And the chemistry that they do have is pretty good, but you just don't feel like there's that strong bond that Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson had. And here, Jack Harlow and Sinqua Walls, they have that chemistry, but ultimately at the end of it all, it doesn't feel like it's that strong friendship. You don't get the sense that they are going to be the best of friends, despite them being in the tournament together and them trying to hustle other people. It's there, but it's just like surface level. It's just kind of average, and it works for what it's trying to do, but it could have gone a little bit deeper into it. I did appreciate some of the switch up from the original, adding in new elements and kind of changing up the storyline and the characters' names as well. there's enough in it to where you realize it is that remake and borrowing a lot from that original film and what made it so magical and kind of giving it its own little flair to it. And at times, it doesn't have a distinct style to it. It does feel a bit average. And I think the film could have really benefited from looking more at the original film in terms of the tone and how lighthearted it is at times, and the jokes and the music as well. But when it comes down to it, I can honestly feel that this was a little bit of a cash grab and a movie that really didn't need to be remade in the first place. It's not offering anything new. It doesn't have something to say. But overall, it's a fine film. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. It's not like the best remake ever, but it's certainly not the worst thing ever. Like I said, I'm not as connected to the original film as other people. It was one of those films that my father had growing up. I remember seeing the VHS. I just never watched that movie. And I did just watch it for the first time, and I really did like it. But this film just did not recapture that same charm. The chemistry is pretty good. The acting is decent. But overall, when it comes down to it, the story, some of the development, and that relationship as well is just surface level. It's content with just being average and not trying to expand on it and give it some fresh new air to the movie. It just works for being a remake that just felt like a cash grab and not doing anything groundbreaking. So before I give you my score for White Men Can't Jump, make sure to check out my channel. Here I do movie reviews, trailer actions, ranking videos, tier lists, all that fun movie related content that you see on YouTube. I do it all here, so hit the subscribe button to get it all in one spot. If you'd like to see where White Men Can't Jump ranks amongst all the other 2023 releases I've seen this year, follow me on Letterboxd and there you can find my ranking. I'm going to go ahead and give White Men Can't Jump a C+. Thank you guys for checking out my review for the remake of White Men Can't Jump. Have you guys seen it by chance? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comment section down below, and stay tuned for more up and coming content like this. My name is Just Watches Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.